Jon versus Tom would be the biggest fight ever at the White House, and even Dana has talked about it, that would be the wish list. Is that something that you even think about or use as that could be a goal, or because of the past year, you won't allow yourself to even get too worked up over that?
Do you want me to be honest? It has spent 0 seconds in my mind. That's it. I'm not interested, mate. Not interested. And the world shouldn't be interested either, because what's the point? It's false hope. It'd be a cool experience, but I'm not I feel like the Americans should get the shot at the White House. I don't do anything there apart from pay taxes and fight there. So really all of that stuff just is irrelevant to me, to be honest with you.
I was retired. I felt like I've done it all in the MMA space. There wasn't too many more challenges for me. I just wanted to do something more than championships and money. Donald Trump mentioned that he wanted to have a fight at the White House. That just seems like such a huge opportunity. I'm a very proud American. I have a lot of close friends that are in the military, so I'm back.
Jon Jones says he wants to be on there too, and he says he would fight whoever the champion is. So would you be okay with him coming back, potentially winning that belt again?
You know how I felt about him. I can't risk putting him in big positions in a big spot and have something go wrong, especially the White House.
Jon Jones has addressed the news that he won't be part of the UFC's rumored event at the White House. However, his comments haven't impressed many. Tom Aspinall and others in the MMA world seem largely uninterested in what he has to say. Jones insists he's prepared for a return, expressing his desire to compete again. He claims to be focused and ready to re-enter the octagon. Despite this, Dana White has made it clear that Jones won't be headlining such a significant card, citing a lack of trust in his reliability for an event of that magnitude.
Been so much speculation about the White House card. Is there anything that Jon could do where you could say, okay, I actually trust him?
Let me ask you, what do you think Jon would do in the next couple of months that would make me trust putting him on the White House card?
Well, I would not trust him, but I would like to see him fight Aspinall on that card down the road.
So I already said that I don't trust him, and you're asking me what could he do for me to trust him in the next 3 months? You don't trust him.
Well, yes, but you talk to him. I don't.
Yeah. No, I don't talk to him either. I haven't talked to him at all. If I had to make odds, it's 1,000,000,000 to 1 that I put Jon Jones on the White House card.
All right, I think that ends the questions on it.
Yeah.
Did Trump tell you he was going to make that announcement?
No.
We're going to have a UFC fight, the grounds of the White House.
I don't even know how many people can get in. Whoever actually gets to be there live, it will be such a unique, amazing experience in their lifetime. When the fight is going on, one whole side will be the White House, and then the other side will be the Washington Monument. So we will absolutely put on the baddest card of all time.
McGregor hasn't been in a while. I saw right when this came out, he was back in the ring. Jones.
You jump back in the pool. So the dream main event right now would be Aspinall versus Jones.
Is it possible that McGregor and Jones would fight on the same card?
Could be.
Hey, so they've announced this White House UFC fight. What do you think about that?
I think it's exciting. Very exciting.
Can we expect to see you on the card?
I can't promise anyone anything, but I have very strong feeling that I'll be on that card.
But who would you take on? Who would be your dream opponent?
I would want to take on whoever's holding the belt at the end of the year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any possible names you think?
Well, no, I mean, as of right now, the champion is Tom Aspinall. But we'll see who's the champion at the end of the year. I feel like it'd be only fitting to have an American guy fight for the championship that night. I'd be willing to put it all on the line.
Nice.
Actually is, because it could lead into this superstar quandary that everyone's been talking about recently. Who are the potential superstars that could head up this showstopper event?
Ilya Topuria.
Chances it's Jones Aspinall.
I think that could happen too.
Actually.
Yeah.
Do you think Jones has been ducking him?
But I think he didn't want to fight him. And I think it was a calculated decision on his part. He is so close to the end, so close to retiring as undefeated.
Go.
Are you going to risk it all to fight this one guy who is really, really good and in my opinion would have given him a tough fight and probably would have beaten him? That's no disrespect. He's just a lot younger.
The UFC president has made it clear he sees Jon Jones as too much of a risk to feature as the main attraction for the potential White House event. Enter Tom Aspinall. The interim heavyweight champ has reached his limit. He's no longer paying attention to Jones' ongoing talk about returns, delays, or justifications. As far as Aspinall's concerned, the words don't mean much anymore.
They're talking about a White House fight card? Hey, man, we got to have some Americans win. I don't like Jon Jones. There's no secret. The whole world knows it. I say, man, y'all better put Jon Jones on there. Because right now, we ain't got one American in the top 10 pound for pound. I say, if y'all want an American dude to go get a victory, put Jon Jones in there. Because he gonna win. That's what he does.
Yeah, we just can't have foreigners coming in and winning all the fights at the White House.
Hey, I'm calling him Captain America. Somebody got to win.
Right now,
Guys, we don't have an American in the top 10 pound for pound. We don't have an American in the top 10 pound for pound. We don't have an American champion outside of Kayla Harris now that Jon Jones retired. So who do we send out there on July 4th to get a victory? I say send Jon Jones. He's going to win. That's what he's done his whole career. If it's going to be somebody that we have to trust to win for the country, you send that dude.
Jon, in my opinion, if you look at his body of work over the last 15 years, he's like as close as you can get to perfection as possible. He's like 37, 38 years old, but not only that, he's got 1 million miles on the clock. So he's got a lot of damage on the body. He's took a lot of shots to the head. And that's not me saying anything negative about it. That's the reality of it. And I'm sure Jon Jones is aware of that. And he's fighting one of the most concussive punchers in UFC history. And I just think I can exploit it. Like, I think to get out the way of me for 25 minutes at this point in his career without getting hit once, and that's all I need is just one, I think that's going to be very difficult for anybody.
What do you think UK MMA needs now to sort of kick on again and start that next level?
Tom to beat Jon Jones and me to win the lightweight belt.
In your honest opinion, when you look at Jon Jones, would you say it's a money thing or not wanting to fight you thing, or do you think it's a combination?
Well, I can tell you some stuff about the money situation, but I'm not sure I can say it on camera, so I will tell you that after. I think I'm a bad matchup for him, to be honest.
My opinion, I think it's a huge risk. It's a huge risk. You're younger, you're athletic, you hit hard, you pose problems. We don't have much data on you, meaning that we don't know what happens if you do. And this is me speaking from an analyst and like my experience in MMA.
Tom Aspinall isn't mincing words. His stance is straightforward. Stop wasting time and give attention to the fighters who actually step into the cage. In his view, Jon Jones is no longer a contender worth focusing on, but rather a distraction from the real competition. This tension has been simmering for quite a while. For over a year, fans have seen Jones sidestep a showdown with Aspinall. Instead of facing the rising star, he opted to fight Cyril Gane, a matchup many critics labeled as carefully selected. The bout ended quickly. A swift takedown, a smooth submission, and yet another title added to Jones' collection.
Jon Jones asked UFC for $30 million to fight Tom Aspinall, then pulled out 2 days after they agreed.
He said earlier that he priced himself out of the Ngannou fight. He thought that strategy would work again. Apparently, they met the $30 million, and then Jon, a couple days later, did the retirement thing.
Yeah. I'll take the L for $30 million.
Yeah, but the real thing is Jon's rich right now.
And he still makes money doing his appearances and whatever else.
And he doesn't have to take that ass kicking.
Were you surprised that Jon ended up retiring and not fighting you? Because a lot of people, including me, said he didn't fight you in 2020. And now he could have fought Tom and didn't fight him as well.
The retirement doesn't mean anything. If he decides tomorrow that he's fighting, then that retirement is vowed. It means nothing. Nobody will stop him. If he keep training, that doesn't change anything. To me, he seems more like a negotiation tactic or something. If there's somebody that I don't want to try to understand, it's Jon Jones. I have no problem with him doing his life as he wants. I think he deserves to do whatever he wants to do now. So it's up to him.
There, that Jon Jones was never, not even if you put a fucking gun to his head, gonna take that fight. Just look at the language Jones has been using from day one about Tom Aspinall. Why would I gamble my legacy on someone like him? Jon Jones, gamble. You win every fight, don't you? You're guaranteed to win every fight. You can beat anyone. Every fight, if you're the best fighting the best, is a bit of a gamble. But you're the heavyweight champion of the world. You're supposed to go on and do that. I've never ever known a champion who tells everyone how great they are and yet doesn't want to fight the best challenger. I tell a lie, actually, I do remember one time, Tyson Fury, when he did not want to fight Alexander Usyk. Oh, he's not a big enough name. Oh, and he made all the excuses in the world. And guess what? Usyk beat him twice. And this is exactly why Jon Jones doesn't want to take that fight, because he can see what the fuck is on the way. Jones spent the majority of his career as a heavyweight, boiling down to light heavyweight, beating guys who are actually middleweights, aside from one or two. And by the way, he scraped through those ones. When people were equal to him in size, that was where he actually struggled. Dominic fucking Reyes beat him, in my opinion, for Christ's sakes. And who the fuck is he? No offense. He's certainly not Tom Aspinall. In Tom Aspinall, Jon Jones, with his high fighting IQ, which I won't take away from him, he is a very smart fighter, and that's what the problem is here, is he's not able to delude himself into thinking, oh, I'll just beat him, right? He sees everything. And that's part of the reason why Jones has managed to win so many fights is he sees everything and he analyzes and he comes up with good game plans. He's a smart fighter, but he can't do this with Tom Aspinall. He looks at him and goes, right, okay, he's faster. Fuck me, he's way faster. And he's bigger. That's not normal. And he hits way harder than anyone I've ever fought in my entire fucking life. And he's banging out heavyweights in the first round. Big, massive heavyweights. I've been fighting smaller guys the majority of my career, and he's out there blasting out heavyweights. Fuck. If I go in there, there's every chance I'm getting dropped in the first round and put away.
But after that win, everything came to a halt. Injuries, setbacks, and a lack of updates from Jones followed, while Tom Aspinall stayed active. He continued stepping into the octagon, delivering statement performances, and keeping the heavyweight division alive with his rise.
Is without doubt willing to walk away from his biggest payday of his entire career, what he described as fuck you money, where he can go in, if he loses it doesn't matter because he's going to get so paid, he won't have to worry about anything ever again, and yet he's still saying no. That is how afraid he is of getting the shit beaten out of him by Tom Aspinall. And that says everything about the psyche of Jon Jones, in my opinion. A lot of the UFC fans now, they weren't around when we were watching Jon Jones begin his career in MMA, when they seen the rising of what we thought was the Michael Jordan of MMA. And what a rise it was, don't get me wrong. It was entertaining, it was impressive, and it was amazing to watch such a young guy do the things he was doing. But honestly, it's been a real disappointment in the long run, especially now. And these fans who are around now, who are only knowing Jon Jones as the guy who's the UFC heavyweight champion, but he doesn't want to fight the best challenger that there is. Like, that's the lasting impression. The final thing that you leave behind, your final moments as a champion, are what really defines a lot of your legacy. And he is going to go down as the biggest duck of all time, the way he's behaving right now. And that's what he'll be remembered as, more than anything. Yeah, he had a good run, he beat a lot of fucking middleweights, but when the big man came to knock on his door, he was too scared to open the fucking door. That's the truth. And that's what he'll be remembered for. And for the rest of his life, make no mistake about it, everywhere he goes, Tom Aspinall's name will fucking haunt him, because it'll be the one he refused to fight. And Tom Aspinall now can go along his merry way and everyone will know you beat him. You were willing to show up, he wasn't. Playground rules, you won. You're the man who was so dangerous, the big bad Jon Jones wouldn't even get in the fucking cage with you. He literally said it on my podcast. I will retire Jon Jones without even having to fight him, because he hasn't got the fucking balls for it. And he didn't. It's all been proven true. And it's funny because to me, fighters who win all the time, all right, that's great, right? But actually, how much have you challenged yourself within your career?
What are your thoughts on Tom and Jon? I've always been, if you're the champion, defend your belt. It's a responsibility. You can't just, I'm going to sit out. I think you need to be reasonably active. You need to fight whoever's there. If you've got an interim champ, it's a no-brainer. I don't want to throw heaps of shade, but I mean, look, I know he's proved himself. Everyone's like, look what he's done. You don't hold up divisions just because, I don't know if I want to fight him. But when you're the champ, I don't think you have a choice. We've got an interim champ just standing there waiting for. If you don't want to fight, then just retire. You're done. Or if you want big fights, you're going to have to vacate the title.
Why do y'all think Jon Jones don't want to fight Tom Aspinall? Is Tom Aspinall that good where Jon Jones should be working? I think Jon Jones, me personally, nothing against Tom Aspinall, I think Jon Jones will walk through him.
I personally think it's the toughest fight on hand for him, and why for him chance his legacy of losing a fight that he probably doesn't even have to take. He doesn't need the money. He doesn't need to prove himself anymore. I think it's a tough fight. I mean, I do think, betting on the fight, I'm betting on Jon Jones, but I still think that Aspinall's got enough like athleticism to close the distance, right? Like Jon Jones wants this distance. He loves this. He's got this distance. And Aspinall's one of the heavyweights that he'd be fighting that can close the distance hard and fast.
You think Aspinall got a chance of beating Jon?
I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you've been in there with Jon.
Yeah.
You know, I've trained with Aspinall. I've held pads for him. I've also, been around Francis a lot, and I understand what that heavyweight athlete looks like. Tom Aspinall is everything as advertised.
Now that Tom Aspinall is officially set to face Cyril Gane in Abu Dhabi, Jon Jones suddenly claims he's ready for a comeback. But for many fans, the timing feels all too familiar and far too late. It's the same pattern repeating itself. Big talk from Jones when nothing's on the line, followed by silence when it counts. Aspinall's frustration goes beyond just missing out on a single fight. He's been vocal in the past about performance-enhancing drugs, calling out fighters like Jones who, in his view, damage the sport's integrity by not playing fair.
I'm not getting at John here, I'm getting at anyone who's failed a PED test. So this is my view on PEDs personally. If you're a sprinter, for example, you do 100 meters and you take PEDs and you win a race, you become faster than people who are not taking PEDs from that. That's okay. You're a cheat, you've won, they'll take your title off you or whatever. If your job is to hurt another person, physically hurt another person, which could potentially redirect the rest of their life post-fighting, you're an absolute piece of shit and you should never be able to fight again. If you have any PED stuff, like, it's like taking a gun to a knife fight. Do you know what I mean? It's like taking a knife to a bare knuckle fight. Like, how can you look yourself in the mirror when you know that you're cheating and you could potentially damage the other person for life? Like, it's disgusting. And I know there's some tainted supplements out there, but if you do it repeatedly, like
times,
the first time, if it's tainted supplement, whatever, they look into it, you're all good. If you're talking 2, 3, 4, 5 times and they're still letting you fight in a promotion, you're a pretty sick individual, in my opinion. It shouldn't be allowed.
Is he the greatest?
Potentially, but the way that I look at it, he has failed a couple of drug tests. To me, that rules you out of being the best of all time.
Really?
For me personally, yeah, I think.
Does it make him a cheat?
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah. If you're on steroids or whatever, I don't think he was on steroids, but he was on PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. If you're on PEDs and your opponent isn't, that's absolutely cheating. There's so many like UFC fighters who are like, I ain't fucking scared. I'll fight anybody, and I'll definitely fight anybody as well. But it's still scary. Like, and I'm open with it, and I feel like when you are open with that and you embrace it, like, it gives you a whole superpower in itself. Like, I'm going to look across, whether it's Jon Jones or somebody else, I'm going to look him in the eye and I'm going to be like, I'm fucking scared, but I'm coming for you. And I want to, as we said before, I want to separate you from your consciousness. That's what I'm looking to do. I'm trying to knock everybody out, but I'm scared of every single person. But that fear makes me super sharp. I learned a lot of this stuff from GSP. A lot of it I just learned from like watching podcasts and watching his stuff, because he's so open and he's like say 10 years before me, maybe even more.
Yeah.
And that guy's going out there fighting like guys like Nick Diaz, who are giving him the finger and doing all kinds, pissing him off constantly. And he's like, yeah, I'm scared, but I'm going to go over there and kick your ass anyway.
Aspinall has been clear about one thing. This sport is dangerous. Every time a fighter enters the octagon, they're risking their life. So when someone resorts to steroids, it's not just unfair, it's reckless. That's why Tom has never admired Jon Jones' legacy. He acknowledges Jones' talent, maybe even considers him one of the most gifted fighters to ever do it. But to Tom, that legacy is permanently tainted. And he's not alone. The MMA community has watched Jones go from controversy to controversy, failed drug tests, legal trouble outside the cage, and an ongoing pattern of dodging legitimate opponents. The trust is gone. That's why Dana White's recent comments hit so hard. It's not just a business decision, it's him saying what fans have been thinking for years. Jon Jones is no longer someone the UFC can count on. For where does that leave Tom Aspinall? For him, the answer is straightforward. Stay focused on Cyril Gane, defend the interim title, and continue proving he's the true top dog in a heavyweight division. Many fans already see him that way. With Jones inactive and Francis Ngannou chasing boxing matches, Aspinall has stepped into the spotlight as the face of the new heavyweight era. And it's easy to see why. His speed, grappling, and calmness under pressure have set him apart. A growing number of fans truly believe he would have beaten Jon Jones if that matchup had ever materialized. But that's the catch, it never did, and likely never will. As time passes, the possibility of that fight fades even further into the background. Aspinall is young, hungry, and hitting his peak. Jones is aging, slowing down, and plagued by inconsistency. What once could have been a defining showdown in UFC history now feels like a missed opportunity, one we'll probably never get back. The heavyweight division stands at a turning point. Aspinall versus Gane might deliver the clarity we need, but it won't bring the closure fans have been hoping for.
Dismissed me on multiple occasions, and I'm not the first guy that he's dismissed. I'm not the first guy that he's ducked. It's out there for people to see. The reason that I got the Pavlovich fight was because Cyril didn't want it. So he ducked Pavlovich. He then ducked Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades has been on record saying that I asked for him years ago, didn't want it then. I then asked for him in Paris. They flew me over. We tried to make that fight. He didn't want it then. And we'll see what the UFC want to do. I don't know what his aspirations are. He might really want to be an actor. So he's thinking, oh, fuck this MMA stuff. I'm going to go and be the French Arnold Schwarzenegger here. I'm going to crack on with that. So fair play to Cyril, though. Good luck to him. I've got nothing against Cyril. He's had a few opportunities to fight me, and he's turned it down. That's the facts of it. I'm not saying he's ducking me or he's not ducking me. Right now, he's being an actor, and I wish him all the best in that.
It is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the pride of Wigan, the one and only Tommy Aspinall, Tommy Aspinall, na. Tommy Aspinall, Tommy, defending his undisputed gold, technically for the very first time against the pride of France, the French prince himself, Bon Gamin himself, the one and only Cyril Gane. These two have been going back and forth for the better part of 2, maybe 3 years. Well, this was the fight that we all thought was going to happen in Tom's official first title defense, and so it is in fact going to happen. Tom wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. That was the sense that we got when he became undisputed champion. He didn't want to wait for New York. Let's be honest, the tax is a little better over there in Abu Dhabi compared to New York for an Englishman, for anyone, if we're being 100% honest. And so he wanted to be active. He wanted to fight in October. He wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. It's closer to home. And so they oblige. And you'll recall a few weeks ago, I said, it's looking like Magomed and Alex, October 4th. It's looking like Tom versus Cyril, October 25th. And it's looking like JDM versus Islam in New York. That would be the next pay-per-view. Now, that hasn't been officially announced. That hasn't been signed, sealed, and delivered. But at this point, I would be surprised, considering how the chips just fell earlier today. I would be surprised if it doesn't play out that way.
Fans will always be left wondering what might have happened if Jon Jones had stepped into the cage with Tom Aspinall. But given where things stand now, with Aspinall showing zero interest, Dana White expressing clear doubts, and Jones' long track record of vanishing when the stakes are high, the answer seems clear. That fight isn't going to happen. And that's exactly why Tom's reaction has become so detached. He's no longer invested. He's done chasing what-ifs and done giving attention to someone who, in his eyes, keeps making empty promises. He's focused on what's real, and the MMA world seems ready to do the same. The sport is shifting. Tom Aspinall represents what's happening right now. Jon Jones, despite everything he's achieved, is becoming part of the past. The future of the heavyweight division is moving forward, with no room left for delays, distractions, or broken commitments.